Hola guys and girls and welcome to my GBA team builder for week 8. We are facing off against the New Orleans Pelippers, aka John, aka PokeMEN. Very good friend of mine and very threatening battler right here. He is currently a very nice record, going 5-2 so far into the season. We of course being 3-4, going into a tough loss against Duncan. So yeah, John is doing very well so far. I think he's placed the 4th spot in the power rankings. We are like somewhere 10th, 11th, I don't know, I think we are around that. We might even be 12th. I watched them, but I don't quite remember what my placements are again. Because I watched like the power rankings, then I watched like what the commenters put me in, and I'm between 10th and 12th. That's where I go around there at the moment, because I'm not going too strong currently. But yeah, we're definitely not out of the playoff race yet. John, of course, is not in our conference, not even neither division nor conference, so for the actual race, it's not that important, but of course, we still need these wins for our records. We are currently 1 win behind everyone else in the race, basically. We are 1 win behind Gator, we are 1 win behind George, and we are tied currently with Duncan, actually. So he got into the race as well. Same with Dan, he's still in that. So we have to make something happen in this last 5 weeks. With this match, it's still 5. If we want to get our playoffs. But the race in our conference is getting tighter and tighter. If I would be actually in the other conference, it would be much better, looking much better for me. But since we are in this with so many tough opponents, we will fight. We'll have to fight for every win, even if they are out of conference and with strong opponents and friends like John. So yeah, let's go over his team real quick. He got the Tapu Bulu, the Inferno, which is the Z Captain, the Skarmory, Milotic, Jolteon, Goodra, Porygon Z, Sneasel, the Uxie, Scolipede, and the Piloswine. Looking at his team, of course, the biggest threat which of course comes to mind is the Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu is a huge threat, even to my team. I have a decent amount of resistance to grass, but the problem is with Tapu Bulu, I made some cards. If he's Adamant Choice Banded, he 2-hit KOs everything, even my resisted mons. It doesn't matter if I make the max physically defensive. For example, Rotom Heat gets 2-hit KO'd by Banded Woodhammer. Don't even get the Grass Terrain healing. Same with Latias, 2-hit KO'd, even if I make it max physical defensive by Woodhammer. And he just needs like 2 coverage moves for my team, basically. He just needs Mega Horn and Stone Edge, and then 2 grass moves. Be it Horn Leech and Woodhammer, basically. That's all the coverage he needs. Like with Mega Horn, he can Oko the Larius, he can Oko the Celebi. With Stone Edge, he can Oko the Rotom. And with Woodhammer and Horn Leech, he basically 2-hit KOs the rest of my team. So Tapu Bulu, huge threat. Huge threat. I only have 1 mon which does not get 2-hit KO'd by Adamant Banded Woodhammer, so you will see that in the team building later. So I had to build like a more, not really surprising set, but something more of the screen of usually seeing things, let's say like that. But yeah, next up the Inferno, of course. Inferno, of course, is not that strong. With this Z move and all the coverage it gets, my team struggles with mons which are so fast. Like Inferno doesn't have so much coverage on both sides. Like my Rotom, for example, could take on most variants of it, barring he has Stone Edge. My Primaria could take on most variants of Inferno, barring he has like Gangshot or Thunder Punch. My Donphan could take on most variants of Inferno, barring he has Grass Knot. So I have a lot of mons which can potentially deal with the Inferno, but I have to scout out his set. I have to scout out the set, because he just needs 1 coverage move, and the 1 check I bring is gone. And I can't bring 3 checks for only 1 mon, then I'm underprepared for the rest of his team. That's why mons like Inferno I do very well with my team. It has like so much potentially coverage for my team. I have to like predict what he brings, but 1 false prediction and he kills that check with like, for example, even a Z move, coverage move, and then he has potential to run through the rest of my team. So Infernape gonna be a problem just because of its huge coverage, not because, especially because it's so strong, but it's decently strong, but more so because of the insane amount of coverage it gets. And Skarmory, I'm decently fine with Skarmory. Milotic is another problem. Milotic, he used Milotic very well so far in the season. With the flame, with the burn nerf, with giving it a flame out, giving it Marvel Scale, stuff like that, it's a very big physical wall to get through. Together with Skarmory, lazy physical moves are not going to go through John, or not conventional physical moves. And Milotic, of course, has decent Split Def as well, so we could even bring more of Split Def Milotic. If he brings Skarmory, I'm thinking more of a Split Def Milotic, but if he doesn't bring Skarmory, it's definitely going to be like the Flame of Physical Defensive Milotic. Then Jolteon, of course, outspeeds my whole team, has decent coverage for it, like Shadow Ball for Latias, Signal Beam for Celebi, he might even only bring Signal Beam for the Latias, stuff like that. He thankfully doesn't get Grass Knot, so he would have to run like Hidden Power Ice or something like that, so on Assault Death Downfall is a very nice check with that, so I'm not sure if he brings that. Then Goodra is another problem. Like you probably know, my team consists mainly, my main threats are all special attackers. So Gudra with its huge special attacks, that is a big problem for me. Of course, he will bring Sap Sipper, I'm very sure of that, because of my Celebi, it will be Sap Sipper. And he might even bring a physical set, looking at that, like with Earthquake, Power Whip, get a Sap Sipper boost, stuff like that. Because Primarina I had initially on my team. You will see I don't have it anymore. I'd like to solve this Primarina to deal with Gudra. So I can take like Sludge Wave, Thunderbolt decently well and do a lot of damage with Moonblast. But if he is in the physical variant with Power Whip, my Primarina just dies. So I had to change stuff up. Gudra, a very big threat. Same with Porygon Z. Porygon Z is very one-dimensional what it does, but it's so strong. Tri-Attack is so strong. I need a very especially bulky mon to deal with Porygon Z, and that's why Assault Vest Primarina is gone from the table as well, because it was just not especially bulky enough, especially with no recovery. If it's like at 50%, Porygon Z 2 KOs it, and then I'm locked. I'm lost versus a Choice Scarf Porygon Z, for example. Sneasel, it's basically a Weavile Light. Duncan did not decide to bring Weavile versus me this time, so John might think to take Sneasel, but of course I have to prepare for it. Of course, it's a bit easier to prepare for Sneasel than for Weavile, especially since Sneasel is not his Z-Mon in this case. But yeah, then you got Uxie, annoying Mon. That's all I can say. Annoying Mon, pretty fast, can set up rocks. Bulky on both sides, doesn't do too much damage, but can of course Toxic Thunder Wave my team. Scolipede, the third biggest threat. If I have to rank his threats, first one, actually it's the second biggest threat. First one is Bulu, second one is Scolipede, third one is Infernape. Scolipede, because Scolipede doesn't have like the 4 Moveset Syndrome and Further Pass. He just needs Poison Jab, Mega Horn, Aqua Tail, and Earthquake. Boom! My whole team can basically get swept by this thing if I'm way too weak. It hits everything on my team for super effective, also very good stab damage. This coverage is very nice with my team. I would have loved to still have Chestnut on my team, but like you know, probably saw the transaction that I'm not talking about it. I traded basically some shenanigans involved. Basically, I lost Mesprit and Chestnut for Celebi and Heracross. You can watch the video for the reasoning of that. I would have loved to still have Chestnut, but last week was the last week of transfers. So if I want to have Celebi, I had to do it then, even though in this match, for example, I would have preferred having Chestnut, because it's a very good check to Scolipede. But since I have Celebi now, I have like one bad matchup ahead of me with John, but Celebi will help me in the other matchup. So yeah, sadly that's how it works if you have like a transfer deadline to do follow. But yeah, Scolipede, huge threat. Second best threat on team. Like I said, Bulu, Scolipede, Infernape. Scolipede just needs these 4 moves. Doesn't need he could have Protect, then he potentially would miss out on one coverage move to hit one of my mons. So I don't know what yet. Like the only thing he would need Protect for is like if I'm like a Scarfed Tornadus and he does want to bring it in on me. So I'm not really sure. Scolipede naturally outspeeds my whole team, so at +1 he outspeeds my whole Scarfer, so he doesn't really need Protect. But if he wants to be more safe, he could have it, and then he could not have the coverage moves with it. But yeah, there we got Piloswine, of course. Piloswine, it's Baby Jean. I don't really see it bringing versus me because it doesn't really have a good matchup, especially versus the one I'm bringing. So yeah, Piloswine I'm not really seeing, but yeah, like I'm definitely seeing Bulu, Infernape, Scolipede, 3 biggest threats, then Gudra, and Milotic / Skarmory as his defensive core, and then last one could be like Uxie, Sneasel, Jolteon, Porygon Z, like something he just thinks fits there. This is like basically what I'm thinking what his team will be. So now going over to my team. First up, we got Latias with the Tangerberry, Psyshock, Thunderbolt, Recover, and Default. Enough speed to outspeed a max speed Infernape, so if he's not Scarfed, I can outgrow that with Psyshock. And this investment, looking a bit funky, but this is so I can take, with the Tangerberry, I can take a Jolly, Life Orb, Mega Horn from a Scolipede after one Rock Switch in. I can live that and KO with Psyshock. This is one of my lures to kill the Scolipede, because otherwise Scolipede is a huge threat to my team. I don't have much to deal with it. Like I said, he just needs these coverage moves, and he basically has the potential to run through my team. So I need these lures like Latias, because Latias basically, if he wants to make an offensive switch, it invites in these Scolipede versus me. And then I can just stay in, basically Psyshock it out, Psyshock it, and boom, bang, Scolipede is gone. I'm a very big, what you call it, thing falls from my heart. Whatever, English. I'm not the English guy. I'm the German guy. I do not English. But yeah, this Latias mainly there for the hazard removal and the lure for Scolipede with Psyshock, and then Thunderbolt there to hit the Skarmory, which of course is resistant to Psyshock, and because it's so physically bulky, I can hit that for a decent amount of damage, and I can hit the Milotic harder, especially if it's physically bulky, then Psyshock is not doing much to it, and Thunderbolt hits it for a decent amount of damage, and then of course Recover for recovery. Next up, we got the more off the charts check to Bulu. We got Physical Defensive Margiana with Flash Cannon, Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, and Volt Switch, and Leftovers. This spread is there. This spread allows me to not get 2 hit out. Guaranteed live. A Bandit, Choice Bandit, Adamant, Woodhammer, and Grassy Terrain. Together with To be fair, I need leftovers recovery and I need aggressive terrain recovery. Without that, I wouldn't be able to take those hits. So thankfully, the aggressive terrain of Bulu helps me out there. If it's of course not aggressive terrain, the Woodhammer won't do as much and I can live the hit. And like I said, every coverage moves he needs, like Stone Edge and Mega Horn, is much resisted by Magiana. I don't think he will see my Magiana as my Bulu check. He probably, like, because I have so decent resistance to it. I have my Celebi, I have my Rotom, I have my Latias. All mons which can decently check potentially the Bulu. So that's why I think he would play Mega Horn and Stone Edge as coverage moves. And Magiana, of course, resists those both and can easily switch in. And then for movesets, I got Flash Cannon, of course, to hit the Bulu super effectively. Dazzling Gleam to hit the Goodra for more damage, and special general fairy coverage is very nice. Energy Ball is there. So because I switched the thing in on the Bulu, Grassy Terrain will be up basically. And him predicting my Flash Cannon, he might want to switch in his Milotic and stuff like that. That's why I have Energy Ball there, because even with no Protect investment, if Grassy Terrain is up, I can 2-hit KO a Milotic with Energy Ball. So that is very nice. And then Volt Switch there just for momentum in case he doesn't have Milotic and he wants to go into more Discovery on my predicted Flash Cannon versus Bulu. Then I can go for Volt Switch for momentum. And leftovers, like I said, I need leftovers together with aggressive terrain to be able to live the Woodhammers from the Bulu. If he is Element Choice, if he's something else than Element Choice Band, and this thing takes it on even better. But the problem is, if he's Element Choice Band, this is of course only switch in one time. Because after switching in one time, I take around max roll around like 55%, leftovers recovery, aggressive terrain recovery, I'm like 57%. Then he switches out, I get another round of that, I'm at like 68%. That means I can't switch into 2 Woodhammers anymore. So this is basically, if he choice band, it's only one switch in, surprisingly one switch in, and then I can try to grab momentum from there. Otherwise things just die versus the Bulu. So that's basically the Magiana right here. Max physical. It's of course good for the Scizor as well. If I can switch in that, of course I won't do that because I need the leftovers to be able to take on the Bulu. If he brings the Scizor and not the Bulu, which I don't really see, this thing is of course a good check as well. Or if I've got rid of the Bulu, this thing can check the Scizor as well. Basically, or if it's not choice baited, then I don't need leftovers that badly because I get aggressive terrain recovery and I can still lift the hits from it. So yeah, that's Magiana for you. The speed is just there to outspeed a no-speed Skarmory, so I can potentially Volt Switch on that, get some damage and all this good stuff. Next up, we got Rotom Heat with the Rocky Helmet, enough speed for a no-speed Uxie with Overheat, Volt Switch, Pain Split and Toxic. Overheat Volt Switch, of course, main coverage moves. Volt Switch to grab momentum. Overheat put against some good damage on the Bulu, for example, or on the Skarmory, if I don't want to Volt Switch, because if I Volt Switch and he Roosts, I basically don't gain anything, barring a little damage. So Overheat is there if you're predicting to stay in and go for Roost. Then Pain Split there for recovery, of course, and Toxic there over Will-O-Wisp, because I want the Toxic is most likely switching, which is probably going to be the Goodra. And if he brings Uxie, like I said, I should be able to outspeed that and hit it up with the Toxic and wear that down, which is very important for a future mod you will see on my team. Because so far, basically I only have the lure and 2 defensive ones, my offensive core will come later. So, Rocky Helmet is there to rack up some damage on this Infernape. This thing is going to be my main check to the Infernape. If I think what moves he would bring, I don't think he will bring rock moves if I have to predict around Infernape. Of course, I will have to scout around that, but if I have to predict around Infernape, I more think so that he would probably bring like Grass Knot for the Donphan, and then for example, Thunder Punch or Gang Shot for the Primarina, because these are like the main checks I have to do. That Rotom Heat can't OHKO an Infernape, because I don't have super effective stab, barring the other two. Donphan can OHKO with Earthquake, and Primarina potentially OHKO with Scald, Hydro Pump, Surf, something like that. So if he prepares for checks on my side, I think he would be more prepared to going for these two check-wise than my Rotom, because of course I can't do too much damage to it. But together with Rocky Helmet and Volt Switch damage, I can rack up some damage on him with rocks even more for another mon to pick it off, basically my main player in this game. But yeah, this is Rotom Heat. Getting some Toxics on Mons, getting some Rocky Helmet damage on Mons, and yeah, killing the Skarmory. That's basically the job of Rotom Heat. Next up, we got Fancy at the Neolego Life Orb with Sludge Wave, Power Jam, Thunderbolt, and Stealth Rock. So, spread-wise, I just have max speed, because if you look at the spread, you actually see that I have a higher speed stat than special attack stat. That means that this thing will get speed boosts once it gets a kill with the Beast Boost, not a special attack boost. That's why, first of all, I have Life Orb to compensate damage-wise. I know the Power Rankings analyst will be triggered right here that I use Life Orb, but I need the Life Orb to still have a good damage output if I'm not max special attack. And that's why I'm just max speed, so I can still run the max amount of special attack. If I would have less speed to speed for something, that means I would have less special attack as well, and I don't want that. I want to have the maximum damage output, but still giving me the speed boost through the Beast Boost. So, coverage-wise, I get Sludge Wave, Power Gem, and Thunderbolt. Basically, all I need. The only thing which really stops it is the Goodra, or, of course, a potential Scarfer, like the like the Scarf Infernape, or just speed boost Scolipede if he has Protect. If he doesn't have Protect and I get a +1 boost, of course Outspeed doesn't kill it with Power Gem. And yeah, once this thing starts getting boosted, it basically has the potential to run through his team. If I know what a Scarfer is and it's down and the Scolipede doesn't have Protect, this thing can easily sweep through his team. The only thing which really stops this is looking at this. Nothing really. Like, especially Spadef Uxie is like the best he could bring, like Spadef Uxie or like Spadef Inviolate Piloswine. It's the best he could bring for this thing. But if those two are not there, or like worn down with like Toxic Rotom and stuff like that, then this thing has potential to just sweep through his team. It's basically my special sweep option. And Starfrog there, if I want, because I didn't have rocks yet on the team. If you see my two other mons, they don't have rocks. And I still want rocks on this team, because like I said, I need to wear her down this team for either this one to sweep. So yeah, he has his Scolipede, but I will be actually the one speed boost sweeping him, hopefully, with this thing. Or my other high player mon, which is the Lucario, Choice Banded Lucario with Close Combat Crunch, Place Kick, and Extreme Speed. The speed is there for a max speed Tapu Bulu, Jolly Nature. If he's dead, I will still outspeed him. Close Combat, Crunch, Place Kick, and Extreme Speed. Close Combat, of course, main stab. I will spam that the most. Crunch there for the Uxie, because everything else basically gets 2 KO'd by Close Combat. The only thing which don't get 2 KO'd by Close Combat are the Scolipede, which quad resists. That's not because it's bulky, because of quad resist. And the Uxie. For Uxie I have Crunch. Blaze Kick is there, so I don't have to go for Iron Tail on the Bulu. If I switch that in on the Bulu, trying to OHKO it with a Blaze Kick, or he predicts an Iron Tail, he could like switch into a Skarmory or into something else. And if I go for Blaze Kick, he's gone. Skarmory's gone. Close Combat, like even a max physically defensive Skarmory is 2-hit KO'd by Close Combat. It has a chance. With rocks it's guaranteed, but it has a very high chance of 2-hit KO in incoming Skarmory. Even a max physically defensive Milotic with the Flame Orb up is 2-hit KO'd by Choice Banded Close Combat. So this thing has absolutely no switch-ins, and Choice Banded Extreme Speed is so important for his team. It's so important for his team. So important potentially for the Infernape if it's Scarfed. It's so important for the Scolipede if it gets too many moves. To both of these mons, I do 50 to 65%-ish around that. Like, it's different because they're similar bulk, but it's a bit different. I think I do a bit more to the Infernape than to the Scolipede. And yeah, so it's a very nice revenge killer. And Extreme Spam can potentially win me the game late game if all his bulky mons are gone, like the Milotic, like the Skarmory, stuff like that. I can out them already with Close Combat. And yeah, so this is a very important mon for me. To revenge kill these fast mons like Infernape and Scolipede, and to punch rules through his team with just Close Combat. Close Combat OHKOs actually, for example, in the max HP Gudra, which is like a Salt Dash Choice, for example, like that. I OHKO just with Close Combat, so that's a very nice calc for me. A lot of mons I can just straight OHKO with that thing. And yeah, Close Combat spam is fun, especially with Lucario over there. Lucario might be a reason he's not playing Scizor either, because he would need Low Kick then for that, and if he doesn't have Low Kick, he doesn't have Poison Jab from a Primarina, so Scizor has like 4 moveset syndrome, and I think Lucario is the bigger threat, so he would have to run Low Kick, because otherwise Lucario can just set up and sweep for his team. And yeah, this set, I don't even need to set up, I can just sweep straight with Close Combat. I didn't want to have I was thinking first about a Sword Stance variant, but then I was missing one coverage move. Like, I had Close Combat, Crunch, Sword Stance, and Extreme Speed. Was a possibility, but then I had nothing to like straight threaten out the Bulu if he has bring that. Like I said, Bulu is a huge threat, so I want to have the Blaze Kick, and so I decided for the immediate power with the Choice Band. Life Orb wouldn't be enough power to punch through the Skarmory and the Milotic. That's why I have the Choice Band. Of course, it doesn't give me Life Orb recur, so I can even in the late game still spam like Extreme Speed or something like that. So, next up, the last mon, we have Special Defensive Zwiebel, actually making it return. Zwiebel is the German word for onion. One reason I named it after that, the second reason is I want to see struggle Americans pronouncing this name. It's called Zwiebel for all you people out there, but I want to see some coaches struggling pronouncing this name. That's gonna be very fun. But yes, Celebi has enough speed for max speed Adamant Bulu. I want to have some speed. I always want to have some speed, even on my defensive mons, especially if they're so fast as Celebi, so they don't get splat trapped easily. And the next best border was for Adamant Bulu. So if he is a Choice Band variant, I can outspeed that and go for some moves. But yeah, this specific spread, because it's a bit iffy again with like HP and Spadef, stuff like that. With this spread, I can 1v1 an Assault Vested Goodra. Assault is a Sapsiper Goodra, I can still 1v1 with that thing. If he's like max special attack models, if he choice specs and that, not anymore. But Fire Blast is not a 2-hit KO versus me, so I can Toxic it and basically recover stall him to death. Because Giga Drain, he's immune to that, and yeah, U-turn I have for the momentum, because he has some decent amount of switching to this thing. If it once he sees that I have Toxic and Giga Drain, he can, for example, go into Scolipede, and I don't want that, so I have U-turn there for basically the momentum. Or if he wants to switch in his Goodra into this, I can U-turn and get some momentum that way. Like I said, Goodra is switching to many of my mons, but all of the mons can grab momentum on that. Many of my mons, like the Rotom Heat and the Rotom Heat, my Mageli wouldn't really switch in, but Rotom Heat and my Celebi, both mons which bait the Goodra in, but with Volt Switch and U-turn, I can always grab the momentum and get one of my big threats, and either wearing it down to the point where Neolego can kill it, or just bring in Lucario and drop a close combat bomb on his team. But yeah, that's the main mission of this thing, is to especially take on his team. Before that, I had Assault as a Primarina here, like I said, but I want to have something with reliable recovery, so that, like, for example, a Porygon Z, Scarf one cannot sweep from my team. This thing is a better switch into the Goodra as well. Even if he's physical, like Power Whip and stuff like that, is not doing too much damage, I can still take it on. He gets Crunch, but if he's physical, I don't think he would have Crunch. He would more like have like a Dragon move, like Outrage, and then like Earthquake, Power Whip, and he could actually have Crunch. But we will scout for that. But yeah, it just in general takes on better the Goodra and the and the Porygon Z. So I don't want to be underprepared for those things. But yeah, this is a total of my team. Let me know what you think. Like I said, Scolipede, in order, Bulu, Scolipede, and Infernape, the 3 biggest threats for my team. I have some troubles preparing for all of these. I don't want to say I have a bad matchup, because I have threats on his side as well, like my Neolego, like my Lucario, so it goes on both sides, but we have big threats for the opponent. It's gonna be who has the more surprising checks, I think, or who has the prediction game on point to get for at one turn, go for the move, and then boom, wins the game. It's gonna be a very close game. I think it comes down who will play those things better, or like just mid-game, who can deal with wear down the walls of the opponent faster. So yeah, I expect either a very fast game with just one mon sweep because it gets a crit or has some surprising move, or a very long game where we try to wear down our walls respectively to get one of our mons to sweep. For me, Neolego and Lucario, and on his side, Scolipede, Infernape, or Bulu. Bulu not really, Bulu is more of a wall breaker, buying his Scarf, but Infernape or Scolipede, like, he's gonna wear down my team for those two, and I'm gonna wear down his team for my Neolego and Lucario. So it's either a long game or a very quick game. Either way, I will see you tomorrow for the match. Let me know in the comments what you think about the team and our chances against the number 4 spot in the power rankings. Of course, not looking too good. We defeated John already in another season, so I have my hopes up that we can replicate that result. But yeah, that's all from me. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Hit me up on Twitter and Facebook. All links are in the description, and I will see you in no time. Ciao.